Hello friends, long time no see. I am NINJADRAGON22. Most people recognize me as being the special guest in a lot of Onyx Spade's movie What? But surprise, I'm finally back, and this is one of my first solos I've done in a long while. And this is my newest segment, the Dragon Randomizers, about you give me a question and I'll happily give you my undivided, uncensored answer for you. Without further ado, for my first guest of my special, I introduce the one and only Onyx Spade.
What's going on, everyone? So, you want a question, huh?
Yes.
You want a question that'll boggle your mind, huh?
Hit me.
Explain your experiences and thoughts on Pokemon.
Pokemon, eh? Alright. My thoughts on Pokemon goes like this. You should have quit while you were ahead with the right after the Johto League. Because after that you started getting very, very pointless. Seriously, I mean I ain't got nothing against the Hoenn region. That one passed. But this whole X evolution, Y evolution, and all this other bull hockey, Matako, all the other jazz, what was all that about? I mean, that was downright pointless and stupid. And some of these new Pokemon, I can admit, there's a couple of them that were good, like Honchkrow, the evolution of Murkrow, Yanma got an evolution, Sneasel got an evolution, but evolving Magmar again, and you evolved Electabuzz again to Magwater, and Electivire, I think was the other one. That was downright idiotic, for real. Oh, now you should have stuck with Kanto, excellent selection. Johto, excellent selection. Hoenn, you started getting, you know, I ain't gonna say lazy, but a little desperate maybe, I guess. I mean, some of the Hoenns were good. I mean, I like the concept, and some of the new Pokemon, some of the new legendaries like Rayquaza and the twins, the Lugia per se, Latios and Latias. Don't ask me which one's which because I don't remember. But in any real event, seriously, you should. Because Kanto had a good story, Johto had a good story, I'd say Hoenn had a decent story. It wasn't great, but it was decent. It was still interesting. And after Hoenn, this whole X evolution, Y evolution, just that's all I gotta say. It's just Now my other thoughts on the whole Pokemon thing. When we go to Pokemon, we got to get the Pokeball. And now here's the other thing I can't understand. When we talk about Pokemon second series, which I call Johto, they say the Pokeball came from something called the Apricorns. Now, why are you gonna introduce this later instead of earlier? It's already confusing beyond me, beyond reasonable doubt. Seriously. Why are you gonna wait till you go to Azalea Town and then you find out the story that the Pokeball wasn't really originally called a Pokeball, it was called an Apricorn. And then you have this guy make Pokeballs from Apricorns using some kind of device thingamajig, which we don't know about really. Why are you gonna wait till way later to find that out? Seriously. And thing is, I have mixed reviews about the Apricorn Pokeballs because I don't know which one makes what, because that doesn't make no difference. I never use any of them. So then of course, because when I think Pokeballs, I think the regular Pokeball. I think the great Pokeball. I take the Ultra Pokeball, my favorite that way.
And the Master Pokeball.
Then we have the Masters Pokeball. And the only thing that pisses me off is you only get one of those in each game. Which is stupid, because in my personal opinion, you need at least 4.
They say money grows on trees, but it seems Pokeballs.
And seriously, you need... Because I think in the first, at least in the Johto League, you need at least 4 Master Balls. You need You need one for the Articuno, you need one for Zapdos, you need one for Moltres, then you need one for Mewtwo, and if you have a Game Shark, you need one for the Mew, so tell you really need 5. Hey, seriously, whoever came up with the one Master Ball concept was really dumb. Seriously.
Clone the Master Balls!
Yeah, clone the Master Ball, then catch the nerve birds, you raise them to the max, then you're done. Then we have the Johto, which I believe Johto is just an extended Kanto, because you still have basically a similar storyline. Because you get Pokemon that were like Pikachu, you find there's baby Pokemon such as the Pichu.
I think Gen 2 was the perfect generation.
Then you got Clefairy, you had Cleffa. Jigglypuff was Igglybuff. Then you got Magby, you had Elekid, which was my favorite. I like Elekid.
Pichu
and Elekid. Perfect. Anyway. Then we got, now we're talking Pokemon, let's talk about the TV series a little bit, shall we? Let's talk about the TV series just for a minute, just for a moment now, friends. Yes, Ash the retard. Seriously, you need a fucking clue. So you need a fucking clue. First off, you never put a bird against a rock. You never do that. This idiot used a freaking Pidgeotto against a Geodude. I mean, really. Really. Even rookies don't make that mistake.
Pikachu versus Onyx.
Another example of sheer stupidity. And here's one that really burns me up. Why, if it's Ash's Pokemon, why in the world did he not listen to him when he went against Misty? Because think about it. Pikachu was perfect. Electric beats water. All she had was water. She had a Staryu and a Starmie. Electric knocked them out every time. Even her sister said that.
What did he use?
He used the Butterfree. He used the frickin' Butterfree. Now let me say this. Now Butterfree against the Staryu, I ain't gonna say that was completely stupid. It's not a completely stupid move per se. Now Butterfree against Staryu, I ain't gonna say that was stupid.
What?
But now let's talk Butterfree against Starmie. That's a little different. This is why it's different. Now listen to me carefully. Staryu is just water, okay? Water to a bug that knows psychic moves is not bad. But Starmie is water psychic. That does not exactly work. Does it? No.
Retard mode.
Now, next one. Now,
I admit that fact that Misty is a cock blocker.
Misty is a cock blocker. Anyway, now we're gonna talk about Lieutenant Surge.
My favorite gym leader.
Who's notorious for only one Pokemon only. Raichu. And I gotta say, this has got to be one of the most tearjerker episodes I think I've ever seen.
I always thought that Lieutenant Surge was like the best gym leader because he was one of the first ones that didn't take any of Ash's shit. You know, he's like, if you want this badge, you're gonna work for it, you know?
And that he did.
And he was a veteran of the Pokemon War.
I'm not sure what war it was, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, then here's where I think the series gets a little confusing to me because, of course, when you play the game, it's Pewter, Cerulean, Vermilion, Celadon. You go to Fuchsia, you come back up, go to Saffron.
You forgot to talk about how it was a tearjerking episode.
I'm getting that.
Okay.
Then you go to Cinnabar. Then you gotta go Then you gotta go back to Viridian.
Wouldn't it be weird if Cinnabar Island had a Cinnabon?
That would be awkward.
Cinnabon debuting in Cinnabar Island.
And then anyway, it was a tearjerker episode for the simple fact this was probably the closest we've ever seen Ash's Pikachu evolve. Because remember when Ash lost to Surge, Surge gave him a Thunderstone.
No, Surge didn't give him a Thunderstone. Nurse Joy had a Thunderstone.
What? Somebody gave him a Thunderstone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nurse Joy.
somebody gave Ash a Thunderstone. And that was the closest we ever seen Pikachu evolve, because everyone knows you give Pikachu a Thunderstone, it evolves into a Raichu.
I mean, at least the old school series, yeah.
Anyway. Hey, but I think the saddest episode I think I've ever seen was the one where the closest we've seen Ash and Pikachu actually say goodbye to each other.
Well, also, I'd say also, it wasn't as tear-jerking as the Pikachu goodbye, but the Butterfree one was pretty bad, too.
Bye-bye, Butterfree.
Yeah.
I think Pikachu's goodbye was a little sadder.
Yeah, it was.
Because that's actually...
Because Pikachu didn't want to leave.
But Ash basically ran.
Yeah.
And that's actually where that song from the CD comes from. The time has come, also known as Pikachu's goodbye.
They'll be together.
Wrong song.
I know, I just got a song in my head.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Like I said, if you play the game, that was the order the gyms win. But in this case, he didn't go to Celadon next. If I remember correctly, he went to Saffron.
Yes.
Saffron came next.
I believe so, yes.
I believe it was, yeah, I think he went to Vermilion, then he went to Saffron. I think that Saffron was the next one.
I mean, everybody was being turned into dolls.
By Sabrina. And Sabrina...
Oh, Sabrina's giant doll.
Well, it was still basically part of Sabrina, technically. And that was probably no doubt the creepiest set of episodes for any gym I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that was like the creepiest set of episodes to any gym leader battle I've ever seen in my life. And she also had only one Pokemon. It started out as an Abra, then it came Kadabra. Kadabra. I ain't got nothing against Kadabra, I really don't. But the whole thing was just creepy.
Didn't Sabrina's Kadabra? It wasn't a Kadabra in the game. It wasn't wasn't it an Alakazam?
Actually, in the game, she had a Kadabra and an Alakazam.
Yeah.
I thought. Now, actually, here's what's funny. She had Kadabra. Here's what's funny. She had a Venomoth in the game.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Now answer this: why would a psychic leader have a poison type Pokemon? Seriously.
True.
Seriously. Now I ain't got nothing against Sabrina. I think in the game, even in the game, she had skills. Don't get me wrong, but still, you can't help but feel a little bad for her.
Yeah.
I mean, because in the series that left out one little question: what caused Sabrina to have this somewhat split personality?
Yeah, what caused it? Yeah.
I mean, the man does sort of give an answer, but he doesn't really give an answer.
What was the answer he gave?
I can't remember. I haven't seen it in so long. But he basically does tell him like a story, but it doesn't really clear up anything. Like
Teleportation.
And I think that man was just about as creepy as she was. Because he just seemed to appear. Because he just always seemed to appear and just to disappear. And that whole story, Ash and Haunter, that was even creepier.
Yeah, that was like the first episode where Ash and Pikachu actually died. But then they were put back into their bodies by Hunter, Gengar, and Ghastly.
Yeah, I found that very interesting.
Pikachu became a ghost Pokemon. Pun.
And then, let's see. And theoretically, personally, if I had to choose between this TV series and Pokemon Yellow, I think I'd still pick Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah.
Because you need a dumbass Team Rocket that always screwed up everything.
Do the motto.
You seriously? Seriously. To infinity and beyond. No, that one it. Anyway.
No, that is Buzz Lightyear, my friend.
No, that one it. Anyway. Then I think that one of the interesting ones I seen in the series, gym leader wise, was Koga. That one I found very amusing.
Like
That one was actually very amusing to me. And actually, there's some Pokemon theories from game to anime, and also vice versa, that's always left unanswered to this day.
Yeah.
And here's one of them. In the series, the trainer with the ice Pokemon was named Prima.
Yeah.
But in the game, her name was Lorelei. But they're the same person.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
And what happens to some of these people? Because we see her, I think, around the Orange Island thing, going into season 2. Then we had, let's see, who else disappeared? Agatha.
Yeah. She probably just died.
Yeah, well, possibly. That's a good theory. That she probably died of old age.
There was also a game theory that started when it came to Agatha in the games, where basically she hinted that Professor Oak was possibly a Pokemon champion at one point. In her speech, in the beginning of her speech, you do sort of have a theory, either that, or maybe at one point they were an item, perhaps. Yeah.
Because she seemed to talk a lot about Professor Oak at one point.
Oh, he's so dreamy and intelligent. I must have his baby.
But I always found Agatha to be very frightening.
Oh god.
And let's see. I believe the first series of the Elite Four was fine. You had Lorelei, then it was Bruno, the fighting trainer. I don't remember him in the series off my head. He might have came later.
Bruno made an appearance in an episode where Brock was talking about how Bruno was one of his inspirations.
Ah, okay. Anyway, then there was Agatha, and of course, one of my favorite people, Lance.
Yes.
Lance was always one of my favorites because I am a Dragon Pokemon fanatic. As a matter of fact, actually, an old friend of mine once gave me the nickname Dragonite.
Isn't it weird how Lance was like what was he, like the last person in the Elite Four?
He was,
and then in Johto, he became champion. That was so weird.
And not to mention, all his Pokemon, I think, except for one, I think was the same. I think.
Yeah.
Because actually, no,
He did end up having 3 Dragonites though.
Oh wait, I take that back. You're right. Because he had two Dragonairs, a Gyarados, an Aerodactyl, and a Dragonite.
Yeah.
If I remember the
And then in
correctly.
Johto, he had 3 Dragonites.
Aerodactyl,
He had Charizard.
and Gyarados. He still had the Gyarados. That's right. Hey, Charizard was added to the mix because it was still Gyarados and Aerodactyl. He still had those two.
Yeah.
It's funny I can recall all this.
It's funny how, technically Aerodactyl and Charizard aren't considered dragons.
No, they're not.
Yet he put them in his team.
Well, it's a good offset because they can learn dragon type attacks. So it is a good offset in a sense. It makes more sense than Sabrina having a freaking Venomoth.
Yeah.
Now, I've had someone ask me, and all the gym leaders I know, who was the sorest loser? And there's actually a couple.
Claire.
I think Claire was the biggest loser. Why? She wouldn't
Sore loser.
Yeah. She wouldn't give up the badge when you beat her.
But then I think the second runner-up would be Whitney.
She was
I lost. I'm gonna cry like a little baby and I'll give you the badge.
It was always between Whitney and Claire, the two biggest sore losers. I think it's Whitney slightly more than Claire because Whitney just cries.
Do you think that there was a sore loser in Gen 1?
That would probably be a toss-up. I definitely think it'd probably be Misty. I would say probably Misty.
Okay, I can see that.
I'd probably say it probably have to be Misty.
Kanto's version of Misty in Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Yeah, she got upset with you because you ruined her date.
Yeah, that's why I think she's probably the sorest loser. Because I think the only one, actually, someone else always asked me this: which leader do you think was the most passionate, quote unquote? I would give that trophy probably to Erica. Cause
You're talking about
in the I'm talking about game wise.
and you're talking about what exactly?
Like if she won or she lost, she didn't really, boast about it or
Yeah, Erica, yeah, but then again, most people think she was on some marijuana in that game.
Some people
Lovely weather, ain't it? Is it lovely weather?
Yeah.
but still she wasn't a sore loser.
Well, neither was Brock.
Well,
Brock was like, you won fair and square, here's the boulder badge.
Well,
Yeah.
That's a toss-up. It depends. That's a toss-up. That's a toss-up. Well,
Well, wait, I know someone who could have been a sore loser in Gen 1. Giovanni. Because, he was still leader of Team Rocket in Viridian City. But when he found out that you had to go for the
Earth badge.
the Earth badge, he did kind of take it a little bit too seriously, when he lost to you.
But he takes it seriously each time because you fight him 3 different occasions.
Yeah.
First was the underground in Celadon.
But think about it though,
Second time was the Silk Company.
Yeah.
And third was at Viridian City.
But the thing is, though, it was because of the 2 previous defeats that, Giovanni disbanded Team Rocket. You made him disband his whole syndicate.
Very amusing.
So basically, in a way, I would think he was the more sore loser because he could have still kept going with Team Rocket. But then he knew that sooner or later you were going to stop him. So he's like, if I keep Team Rocket, this boy's only going to keep popping up. I may as well just disband and quit doing my syndicate. You know what I mean?
But here's what's something funny. You never see Giovanni in Johto. They talk about him, but he never.
They're trying to
shows
bring him back from being dormant. So the executives try to take over the radio tower.
Yeah, and that doesn't work.
I
always found it interesting that they did the music always different when you fought the executives rather than the grunts.
Yeah. So what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is
Stick to the game. Don't watch the anime. The anime is shite.
no, the anime wasn't bad.
Ash Ketchum was bad.
I mean the plot with the anime plot, it wasn't bad. They just could have found somebody with a better personality. It's basically what I want to say. Now, I thank you all very much for listening. Very much. And if you have any comments, please write them below. And if you have any questions that you want me to bring up front, please write them in the comment box. And I will answer. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Ninja Dragon saying, see you later.